gonna splat a broski!
No, you won't. If you wanted him dead, you would have killed him already.
He's right. I'll see you soon.
These videos are not for children. If you are a children, then piss off.
Just when you thought it was safe to log back into YouTube.
Hello, Gotham. Joker's back in town.
Can't be.
Hey there, I'm the Infuso. And you know, they say that a man can go mad with just one bad day. Well, I'm coming back from 2 bad months, so just imagine where I am. No, please hold your applause. I'm happy to be back. I know plenty of you are, because you certainly let me know that you were pissed off that I was gone, which is both very flattering and also irritating.
It's been a rough few weeks.
Now, I previously spoke on this channel about how I felt about Cameron Monaghan's time on Gotham. I don't want to spoil anything here for you, but the name of that video was Gotham Had the Best Joker. So, figure out what side of the fence I'm on just from that. And that's because I truly felt that the performance that Cameron put in is without a shadow of a doubt the most authentic live-action Joker ever to live action.
Very poor choice of words.
But I think a couple of you may have gotten it confused. Because I've read through the comments, and everyone's claiming that I'm putting Cameron over Hamill, and that's complete blasphemy, but I'm not. I'm specifically talking about live action here. Mark Hamill is the Joker. There's no disputing that. And if you try to, well then, I don't want to say somebody's opinion is wrong, but yours is wrong, and I don't like you as a person. And we will never be friends. And while Mark Hamill perfectly personifies the Joker and brings to life what I believe is one of the most sinister and iconic performances in all of movie and TV villainy, I truly feel that Cameron brought that same kind of spirit and energy to the physical end of the role. I think he brings that same kind of passion and intensity when he's on screen. You know, that is until he didn't. But hold on, we're gonna get there, okay? Just bear with me here. And also, I keep getting comments, how could I dare put Cameron's performance over Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix? And again, I explained that in the last video, but for the cheap seats, I'm gonna do it again. Also, I think probably a lot of you just read the title and then dipped. You just got the fuck out of there. Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix both put on some of the most unique and incredible performances anybody in cinematic history in face paint has ever put on. There's no taking anything away from them. Their individual performances were brilliant, and they really left a lasting impression on movie history and pop culture as a whole. These are roles that will be remembered in the comic book movie genre for generations to come. As a matter of fact, I would say both of their careers are probably largely going to be defined, maybe not exclusively for those roles, but largely those roles. They are fantastic performances. But again, I felt that each of them are reinterpretations of what the Joker was. Whereas Cameron, when he was on screen, kinda just portrayed the character from the comic books. And I also got a lot of comments from avid comic book fans telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, because there's no way that Cameron could portray the Joker perfectly when this is a made-up backstory. This is nothing like the Joker from the comics. And again, guys, I was talking specifically and solely about his performance. I didn't say that the background of the character is just like the comics. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the performance itself. The performance. What he brought to screen. That is what we are talking about. Just so we're clear. I also read a lot of people saying that Cameron is simply duplicating Heath Ledger's time in the role. And no. I mean, yeah, I guess they have similar sounding voices, I'll give you that.
But all you've done is mope for the last 6 weeks. Why so serious?
Hiya, Pops. Long time.
No see.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
But his inflections are much closer to resembling Mark Hamill's, and his physical mannerisms seem to reflect Jack Nicholson. To me, discrediting him because he sounds like Heath Ledger is like discrediting Christian Slater in any movie he's ever been in because he sounds like Jack Nicholson.
Chaos is great. Chaos is what killed the dinosaurs, darling.
Fine. Why don't you start right now and get the fuck out of here?
I'm a little tired of people accusing me of doing Jack Nicholson.
It's not the same performance. It's just not. And honestly, that's why I like Cameron so much. I think that he takes the right elements from several different, well-established Joker performances and combines them together for a really effective take on the Joker lore. And to everyone in my comment section telling me that he was one of the worst Jokers and he was the cringiest of all time, well, it seems like your favorite Joker disagrees with you, so shut up. Okay, so now, with that out of the way, let's pick things back up. While I appreciate the show Gotham very, very much, I will admit that it doesn't come without its faults. One really strange tired TV trope it seems to keep on going with is the evil twin. You know the one where we find out that there's an alternate version of a character that we already know and love, or in some cases hate. And yeah, I mean, there's plenty of storylines already established within the DC universe that kind of play on that. You know, you have your standard, Hushes, you got your Bizarros, but Gotham, instead of deciding to choose from that well, decided to pour from its own creative faucet. It's discovered that Bruce Wayne has his own clone. And no, it's not Thomas Elliot. Riddler has a love interest who gets killed off. But it's alright, because, you know, she's got a look-alike somewhere. It's gonna be okay. Same actress and everything. It's fine. And Jerome literally had a previously undiscussed identical twin brother named Jeremiah. No joke. Unlike Jerome, Jeremiah was depicted as being sane.
You're insane. Yeah.
And putting his intellect to good use. Allegedly, Jeremiah was removed from Jerome's life at the request of his mother, who believed that Jerome wanted to shatter his mirror image. And considering we're talking about the kid who would go on to kill his own mother, yeah, I'd say that's a pretty believable claim. Yeah, it seems like there's a little validity there. Except, according to Jerome, it was Jeremiah who made all those stories up about him, causing their family to become abusive toward him in Jeremiah's absence. Long story short, after a brief family reunion and some torture, you know how those things go, Jerome takes his final leave from the series, but not before leaving his brother with a parting gift, dosing him with a severe supply of Joker venom. Well, I mean, legally, they're not allowed to call it that, but yeah, that is what it is. As you can imagine, this has some internal as well as external effects. On top of that, I must ask, what's up with this new makeover? What are you doing? You cosplaying as Data from Star Trek? That's a bad choice. He's one of the worst Jokers out there.
Always wanted to carve this bird. Another day? Another day! There won't be another day! Not for any of us!
Look, I'm sorry, Brent. I really enjoy your body of work, but please keep your body away from Batman. The way their stories are set up, it still never really delivers an answer to the show's audience. Who's the real victim and who's the real victimizer? Who drove the other mad? Who made who? It's a question that really only continues to show its layers as time goes on. It's like an onion. That's right. I seen Shrek once. It's a real chicken or the egg scenario. From a storytelling standpoint, I'd say this still fits the Joker's aesthetic. Because even when we're told his backstory, it's still somehow shrouded in mystery and multiple choice. However, what I enjoy significantly less is Cameron's time as Jerome's last-minute replacement. And yes, before everybody wants to come at me in the comments, I'm very well aware it's the same actor. However, what it's not is the same performance. Jeremiah is not just a tired rehash of Jerome. Actually, if he was, I might like him a little bit better. While yes, he does effectively take over his legacy, he goes about it in his own way. There have been many different portrayals of the Joker, and the show borrowed heavily from several, whether it was his attire, his aesthetic, or plot points. But in terms of overall character, Jerome was Gotham's version of the insane Joker, the anarchist. Jeremiah, on the other hand, was Gotham's version of the super sane Joker, the one who led a life of organized crime. Jeremiah spoke in a constantly calm, mortifyingly monotone way that could unsettle a monk years deep in meditation. He acted very matter-of-factly, and he always seemed control in any given situation he was in, even if he wasn't. The character didn't have the personality or the pizzazz that his infamous brother did. Let me just say that this version of the character isn't entirely without its charm. Yes, he clearly couldn't fill his brother's clown shoes, but Cameron is great as always. This secondary interpretation, while not necessarily ideal for me, was at least truthful to a separate source material for the character. Jeremiah's look was a lot more similar to the more traditional Joker look, so fans of the natural pale skin and colorful outfits could rejoice. However, I really have a hard time getting behind a character that's called the Joker and having it portrayed as a humorless psychopath. It's just, maybe they were trying to go for irony? Hashtag, not my Joker. Come at me. Jeremiah was shown to have a proxy who devoted her entire life to him, a woman who went by the name of Echo. So of course it's only natural that she basically become the series equivalent to Harley Quinn. But, legally distinct. She was hopelessly, relentlessly devoted to a maniac who always had his own best interest at heart. That is, if he even had a heart. The scenes Echo and Jeremiah share are fantastic. And I think that they're the real silver lining of the last-minute twin magic the show decided to pull off. Undoubtedly, the highlight of Jeremiah's time as the Clown Prince of Crime was the dynamic between these two. You have to remember, viewers went into this show thinking that they would never see a Joker. So who could have guessed that we not only would have gotten two of them, but also a Harley Quinn thrown in for good measure? There wasn't a whole lot of time devoted to their background, but there was enough time to understand their relationship and appreciate what the show created. Another thing the series did was give both Jerome and Jeremiah a connection to Bruce Wayne. Both brothers interacted, took an interest in, and even had an obsession with the young billionaire. Jeremiah even on occasion referred to Bruce as his very best friend. And yes, that is a very Joker mentality. Those not in depth with the lore may just think that Joker's Batman's arch enemy. He's the maniacal clown who constantly is trying to kill our dear Dark Knight. But that's actually not the case. The Joker doesn't want to kill Batman. He wants to break him. In his sick mind, the two of them are opposing pieces of the same puzzle. And the Joker is really just desperate in trying to get him to see things his way. And if you think I'm blowing smoke, then here, take the performance that you guys are all fucking beating me over the head with in the comments section.
Then why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? You complete me.
Oh look, he almost said that exact thing.
Let him die a little sooner than the rest of the city.
Wait! We've been having fun. Stabbing him, hitting him, emotionally torturing him. I don't want it to end.
Choose one to live and one to die.
Free the bats! Drop the broad!
Of course, in the comics, it is in fact Batman and Joker, and not Bruce Wayne and Jerome Valeska. But seeing as these are this series' counterparts for those characters, works pretty well. The dynamic is definitely there, and there's a good enough chemistry between these two actors that you buy into it. I think what I really enjoyed the most is that despite Jeremiah's twisted ways, Bruce still seems hell-bent on trying to help him. And that's Batman. Batman doesn't kill his enemies. He tries to rehabilitate them, even if by society standards there is no help for them. And maybe he's a little bit misguided in what he's doing, but you always know that Bruce has the best interest and good intentions at heart. It's almost like these two are constantly fighting, trying to convert the other into their own way of thinking. This is the most physical-spirited debate that I've ever seen in all of my years. Jeremiah acted significantly different from Jerome, but even in saying that, he wasn't a complete contrast to the Joker character. While I don't think he was spot on as Jeremiah, he did aesthetically resemble the character a lot more. His mentality and level of unnatural calmness in any and all given situations certainly highlighted some of the character's more sinister ways. Jeremiah always seemed to have a trick up his sleeve. He had contingency plans A through Z, while Jerome operated purely off anarchy and destruction. Personally, I felt this version of the character hit a little too close to characters like Hannibal Lecter and Antoine Chigurh. Probably not saying that right. I don't think I ever have. But then again, I'm probably not saying Cameron Monaghan's name right, so why are you subscribed to me? I do enjoy Cameron's time as Jeremiah, but I don't think he could really hold a candle to his previous incarnation of the character. Cameron did well what he was given. The problems with Jeremiah don't stem from the actor portraying him, but instead the show that created the role. When I personally think of the Joker, I think of a larger-than-life personality that doesn't ask for, but demands the attention of all those in attendance. Simply by being in attendance. That to me is the Joker. And that to me is Jerome Valeska. I don't think Jeremiah was as brain dead of an idea as others do, but I do at least have to question it a bit. The fact that viewers of the series sat by for 4 years eagerly awaiting Jerome's ultimate transformation, only to be given a brand new guy with his face, feels really, really cheap. I just don't see the Joker as some humorless psychopath who rarely cracks a smile. I just don't know if Jeremiah had the... I don't know if he had...
Flair?
Style. Panache. Hmm? Go on, boy. Spit it out. I can take it.
And apparently I'm not alone in this thought process either. Because I went to the Degenerates, and I decided to ask them this very question. And Jerome won by a landslide. No competition.
Jerome beat me. That'll be the day.
Jerome, yet again, carrying this whole franchise on its back. And while I can't sit here and say I dislike Cameron's portrayal, it does, again, pale in comparison to the show's previously established potential Joker. So why do it? Why do it? Riddle me that. I wouldn't say Jeremiah was a black mark on the series, but he definitely was a very big question mark. So now ultimately, do I think Gotham had the worst Joker? That being Jerome Valeska? No, absolutely not. I will say he definitely was one of the more disappointing ones, but at the end of the day, Cameron was great in both roles. But I kind of feel like replacing Jerome with Jeremiah was kind of like... It was kind of like striking gold and then throwing that gold out because you found a really cool rock. Like, alright, it's nice I guess, but how about the gold though? You know what's funny, when I first started working on this video, it was with the intention of making it one video. Just one big video detailing the history of the character on the show, as well as my thoughts on it, and maybe I'll throw in a joke here and there. But the more I wrote, the more I realized I had a whole lot to say about it. So now that we covered Jerome in part 1, we've covered Jeremiah in part 2, we're on to the final episode in this miniseries, where we cover the Joker in Gotham. So with that being said, once again, I'm the Infuso, you are the Degenerates, and I thank y'all for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.
I am vengeance. I am the night, and that was V Infuso. Just remember, if you're not tuning in, then you're missing out. Catch him next time. Same bat time. Same bat channel.